Hi, this is Helen, and this is a continuation of the workshop that we all participated in on the 27th, and we did not quite manage to finish the section on sites, so I'm going to do a sort of tutorial completion of that at this point. I hope that you find it useful. Okay, we've already created our website, or at least I believe most of you had yours created, and it might look something like this. If you go under More Actions right here and go to Manage Site, you get a menu that has some of the bigger things that you might need to change. You probably won't use a whole lot of these, but if you could go to General Settings, that's where you can change your site name and your site description, and also where you can delete your site. So I know that some of you were concerned about that. We're going to start out just by editing the page that we have, and just we'll create a page in just a little bit. So in order to add something to the website, I can just start typing. And I can just start typing right here, but I like to use text box. So I'm going to insert a text box, and in that text box I'm going to say, let's say this is a class website, so I'm just going to say welcome. I don't think I want a title. I tend to just leave that off and hit save. Now what you'll notice is it pops up and it just looks like this. You can't really see it. And then you get this little menu bar. Now I can click center and have that put in the center. And I can also go to properties and I can change the text. I can insert pictures. I can do some formatting. I can put a table in. So there's a number of options. So I'm going to leave it in the center. Now, I don't think I really want just to have one big page. I think I'd like to have this divided up into 2 pages, so I'm going to look at the layout. Right now I've got 1 column simple. I'm going to switch to 2 columns simple. And I actually always do 2 columns simple because it gives you a little bit more real estate on the page and a little more control. So now if I hit save, you see my text box right here. And this is, you can't see this column very well because I don't have anything in it, but you know, you get the idea. Alright, so let's go back to the editing page. Now one of the things we did was play around with Picasa. And one of the reasons I wanted you to do that is that you can see how easy it is to put photos from your Picasa web album into Google Sites. So if we go to Insert, we're going to get a number of other options. We only did text box so far, but we have all these other options: images, links, tables of contents. You can have it your page be an advertising page, but you don't really want that. But here we can insert also a Picasa photo. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to take me straight to my very own web album. And I wanted to put one of my collages in here. Well, I'm going to click that. And then once again, if I click on it, I get that bar and I can center it. I can also change it to a small size, a medium size, or a large size. Now I'm not going to click save yet because I want to show you something else you can do with Picasa. So if I put my cursor down here at the bottom, I can come back up here and I can say insert Picasa web slideshow. If I click there, say I have a collection of pictures from a recent event, I can choose that album, like Peruvian wildlife here, and click select. And I have some options: autoplay, captions, border, and I probably will leave the title off. Okay, and that looks a little small to me. Go ahead and center it. And I'm going to look at the properties, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. There you go. So that feels a little better because it's about the same size as my collage. So we can see where we are. I'm going to hit save. and you can see that I've started really getting some interesting things on my site. Okay, over here I'm going to put my Google Calendar, so we're going to go back to Edit Page, Insert. Oh, I gotta make sure to click over here because it's going to insert it wherever my cursor is, and go to Calendar. And I actually have a number of calendars, including one I call Mrs. Morrison's Class, just for an example. But you'll need to set one up before you can do this. And it gives you some options. Once again, I'll unclick the title. I just don't see the point. And I can choose, what options are shown, things like that. Okay, I'm going to center that. And we'll hit save so we can see what's going on. So now I have a lovely calendar on my very front page. So we've added pictures, we've added a calendar, we've added a slideshow, and now I want to show you one more thing you can add. So you have this long list over there. Make sure to click here and get my cursor in the right place before I do this time. You have a long list over here of things that you can insert, including YouTube videos. I'm not really showing you that just because it's pretty easy to do, and I know a lot of school systems won't allow you to see YouTube. But you can also go down here and go to More Gadgets, and you'll have this library of lots and lots of gadgets that you can use. And it's just on the first filter up here, but you can look at Featured, News, Tools. I'm just going to go back up to Public and choose these fish just for fun. One thing that's really important to know is that some of the gadgets are inappropriate. There's some that are just fun, some of them that are tools, and some of them that really are inappropriate. So depending on your audience, you need to either restrict them or at least maybe give them a heads up about the kinds of things that might be in there. Alright, so I'm going to hit OK, and my fishes should be here. And I'm going to click on it and center it. Alright, we're starting to look pretty good here. And I'm going to move on and start creating other pages. So I'm going to click Create Page. And I'm going to create just a blank web page. This one is going to be where I put my form. We all made a form earlier. So I want you to see how you would embed a form in a website. So we're just going to call this Quiz. I'll call it Color Theory Quiz. And I want it to be at the top level, so it's just going to show up over on the sidebar. And I'm going to create the page. So just like the other page, I have to click Edit before I can do anything. But then once I click Edit, I can Insert, and I can go to Spreadsheet Form, because we made a form, but remember it is associated with the spreadsheet as well. And I actually have two color theory ones, but this is the one I'm going to choose because it's a little bit more finished. And I have some options here. One thing that you might notice is that if you don't make it a certain height, that part of it is cut off. So I'm just going to add a little bit here. I'm not really sure how long it needs to be. I'm going to go with 1,000. But you can come back and adjust that if you can't see it all. But I just don't like to have a scroll bar. And I'm just going to leave that so we can have 100% width. Okay, so I centered it and I pushed save, and here's my quiz. You know what? I think it would look better narrow. So I'm going to go back to Edit Page. And I'm going to bring that little bar back up. Go to Properties. And I'm going to make it about 500. Alright. So now we have a lovely form that our students could just take right there. So we're going to create another web page, and we're going to go with the simple web page again. And this time it's going to be permission slip, which is the document that we all shared. So you see we have a link for permission slip now, and we have a page called permission slip. And we need to go to edit. Now that we're in edit, we can go to insert, go down to document, and there's permission slip. So I'll hit select. Once again, I want the height to be right, so I'm just going to have to guess. I'm going to say 1200, and I'm going to leave the width blank. I don't really want the title. I'm going to center it again, and then hit save. So there's my permission slip. And just remember, if you made changes in Google Docs, it would change this form because it's just being pulled in to the site. It still really just exists in one place.